Coach, coming off this Alabama game, you looked at the lineup and the bottom, I guess the bottom third of your order, three runs, couple of hits, were able to get on base so Gabe and them could drive them in. How do you feel that they're progressing now?
Well, I mean, that was a one game situation, but hopefully it continues on and that gives us some momentum as we move into the next contest. So, Tuesday night in Tuscaloosa, don't want to lose sight that we sat there for 5 hours before we got to play. And so I was very proud of our guys, the way they responded after the long bus ride, the long day. Finally, to hear the umpires say play ball and how we responded and competed during that contest.
Coach, coming into this series, you guys obviously statistically wise have one of the best pitching staffs in CUSA. You're going against one of the best hitting groups in CUSA. Kind of something's got to give here.
Yeah, I mean, certainly we'll hang our hat on our guys and what we've been able to accomplish up to this point for 19 games, and they've played and pitched very well. From starters to bridge guys to back end guys. So, if we offensively, if we can, manufacture some runs and get some momentum there offensively for us, and we continue to pitch, then certainly we'll have the balance that we've been striving for and hoping for. So, but right now we have pitched very well, as the statistics show, and as most people have watched, our guys have really responded and not giving up the free pass and everything else that goes into run producing innings. They've done a great job of throwing strikes and really putting that ratio of strikeout to walk ratio in our favor.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about Ramsey on the back end when you guys were recruiting him? I mean, did y'all see that blowout slider he's got, and what does he mix with it? Does he kind of locate his fastball and then hit you with that slider?
Yeah, of course, Coach Oz is the one that identified him and saw him and certainly liked his stuff and could kind of project where he might go with it. And in the fall, they worked really hard. He had an inconsistency in his fall where from one outing he would be good to the next outing he would be average. And the challenge to him in the fall was to try to improve and be consistent from outing to outing. And certainly he came back from Christmas, and whatever clicked has certainly has shown up each time that he's taken the mound for us. He's 7 for 7 in save opportunities and really has performed very well with each outing and opportunity he's had.
Coach, obviously a lot of connections between these two programs. I know many of your assistants were once at Louisiana Tech, and I know Coach Burrows, I guess you guys coached together, or he was at Southern for a long time. Can you just talk about the familiarity that you guys have with one another, and obviously how good of a program that he's got over there?
Well, of course, Coach Burns and I go way back. He's one of my probably my best friend in the coaching business as an opposing coach. We go back. He played for me and Coach Palmer back at Meridian in 1992 and 93. Was a true competitor as a player back then. Knew that he had a great baseball mind and expanded on that with time and years. So certainly then when I joined the staff here in 2000, he was an assistant for Coach Palmer, where the next 7 years Lane and I spent as assistant coaches for Coach Palmer at Southern Miss before the spring of 2007 when he moved on to Kansas State at that point, and then has built his resume through 3 different stops and now at Louisiana Tech. So as far as the assistants go, Coach Ostrander and Coach Creel both coached under him at Louisiana Tech. Coach Amorati coached under him at Northwestern State. So, all 3 of them have served time under Lane, and I'm sure that they'll give a lot of credit to their baseball career as attributed to time spent with him. So he's done a phenomenal job at Louisiana Tech. You know, they have a great stadium, $22 million stadium. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen all the videos, and he's told me all about it. So in a couple of weeks, I'll have the opportunity to see it myself. But certainly they've got it going in the right direction. They have a lot of old players. I think, you know, they start 7 seniors, 2 sophomores, position player wise, and much of their pitching is older guys as well. So he's got a fine club, and they've played well. So we're looking forward to the opportunity to play this weekend.
Coach, Tuesday, Best came in a tough situation and really pitched well. Little hit was tough on because it was a good pitch, I guess. How do you feel like he's come back from the early start and going into this Conference USA weekend? What do you see out of him right now?
Well, you know, I think that outing certainly had to be a confidence booster for Chandler, and certainly opens our eyes to the role that he could possibly and probably will play from here on out. He's logged in time as a starter prior to that time, and obviously hadn't had the success that he wanted or we needed and we wanted. So back to the bullpen and trying to work some things out with Pens, he and Oz, and certainly the opportunity on Tuesday was a tough one to inherit, coming in with the bases loaded, nobody out, but being able to damage control and get out of there with giving up just 1 run on what you said was just kind of a bleeder that got through the infield to score 1. You know, I think looking back, that was probably the key to winning the baseball game, because if they'd jumped out and scored, 2-3 runs that inning, we may have had a tough time to recover. We never know, but certainly that was a momentum swing for us by only giving up one run. So Chandler looked very well that night. He was poised. He had all his stuff working really well, and couldn't be more proud of how he responded in that situation.
Coach, how do you see Louisiana Tech coming out with the pitching rotation if you had to make a best guess?
Well, I think they're going to throw 2 lefties and 2 righties. I don't know in what order yet, but we're going to see 2 lefties and 2 righties in the four game series.
How do you see how difficult is it going to be to come up with a rotation this weekend with the doubleheader on Saturday? How do you guys work that and kind of come up with a formula for that?
Yeah, I think more than anything, we probably have just used the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. We're going to stay on track what we've been doing and not really change anything there. We'll go with Stanley in game 1, Powell and Etheridge on Saturday, and then Boyd on Sunday. So, we're going to stack it just like we've done from the beginning. And just the only difference is that Boyd has normally been starting on outside of 1 start against Northwestern State, I believe it was. Everything's been midweek, so he'll be back into that original position on Sunday for us this weekend, like he was the first.
Coach, you guys, I guess, are playing La Tech 8 times this year because you'll play them again. Is that, I guess there's pros and cons to that. Obviously, they're a tough ball club, but what do you like about that? The fact that you're playing a really good team 8 times?
I don't know if either coach wants to play each other 8 times because we're both, very good baseball programs. Of course, there's other people in the league that are getting to play lesser opponents. And Lane and I have both talked about that, and doesn't seem too fair, but given the parameters of the way that everything is laid out with the divisions, the Western and the Eastern, and your closest travel opponent, that's how it's worked out on the west side. You got UTSA and Rice, are close together, so they're common opponents. They'll play 8 times, ourselves and Louisiana Tech 8 times, and then Middle Tennessee and UAB will make up the other 2 in our division. So that's just how it works out. And the good thing about it is you got 2 teams that are going to be able to build off from each other's RPIs. It's not like you're playing 8 games against maybe a lesser team that doesn't have as good an RPI. So from an RPI standpoint, it's certainly an advantage. But from the overall standings, it may not be when it settles at the end of the year. But that's what we've been told we need to do. So that's what we'll concentrate on doing.